So we did this video of me where I was training kickboxing, and someone in the comments said like, "It's all you do is kickbox, and like you don't train for aesthetics or doing anything else." Being that I'm clearly not the most aesthetic person in the world, I do train for aesthetics to an extent, but the majority of my training comes from powerlifting and functional training. I'm not the biggest fan of bodybuilding. I also don't really have the frame for it. In case you're wondering, yes, I am 6 feet, and yes, I am 215 pounds, but I've never been into bodybuilding very much. You know, when you're younger, you start out, you do it a little bit because it's kind of basically a route where everyone's going. But then I discovered powerlifting and more like functional training, and that just took something for me. I'm a very competitive person. Any sport that I've ever done, I've always tried to compete in the highest level in. When it was swimming, I was a very high-ranked swimmer. For the youth team, when I did Pencak Silat, I was in national and international tournaments that were held in the Netherlands. Not to say that I was like phenomenal, but I had a mindset that would push me into people noticing my work. Clearly not genetically gifted, but that never stopped me from doing hard work. And when I found powerlifting, I found something that allowed me to advance, because you work in schedules. You have your mesocycles or your microcycles, meaning that every week the percentage and the volume of how you're training changes depending on the program. One of the most notorious squatting programs, for instance, is Smolov, which is a very high level experienced squatting program. And I did it because I just wanted to finish it. It's a 13-week program, but throughout everything, I've always held one base. It's a program called 531, which I will elaborate on later. And I use some of the Westside barbell methods, which I will also elaborate on after we film this thing, and I will sit down and explain to you guys what that is. This all arose from the question: is all you do is martial arts training? No, I do not. I do a lot of functional training. I do a lot of powerlifting. I think my routine is consistent of 4 to 5 days of functional training in terms of powerlifting, and then 2 days of kickboxing, depend, give or take, where we are with the week. Because sometimes my body just hurts too much from traveling. I can't rack out my deadlift, so I have to be really specific with the way I plan in my days. But I always try to get everything in 1 week. But also, you know, we'll start with the same basics that we did with the other one. This is my nutritional intake or my supplementation intake for my workout. Nothing changes very much. There's a few things that change, but the basic principle of all my supplementation is always kind of the same. Vitargo protein, aminos or BCAAs, leucine, a pre-workout that is either caffeinated or not, and creatine. Big fan of Optimum Nutrition, probably one of my favorites alongside of Almax. I discovered Ghost Vegan Whey not too long ago. I'm a big fan of it. I personally think it's the best vegan whey protein on the market. If you haven't given it a go, give it a go. It's really good, great flavoring, and then I'm just a big fan of Vitargo. This stuff is just...
It took me a little bit, but I think I like it now.
Yeah, different flavors. You don't like the citry flavor stuff, though.
Right,
You like the more the fruity flavors. There's, like, you know, on the market, there's a few things that really work. A few things that you can always rely on, like a good multivitamin, protein, creatine, glutamine. You know, if you stick to those 4 basics, because I saw someone else who was like, I'm dead scared of trying supplements. Well, supplements are nothing weird. Just get stuff from trusted brands. Make sure that what you're getting, like I said, all the brands that I've named are brands that have always gone through trials perfectly, as far as I can tell. Optimum Nutrition and Almax, especially for like your creatines and stuff. But like Optimum Nutrition does great protein. If you're looking for a normal whey protein, Optimum Nutrition is your way too. I used to use Gold Standard all the time. But then, like, obviously I turned vegetarian, and not that there's anything not vegetarian about, well, to an extent, about whey protein, but milk stuff doesn't really work in my, it doesn't really sit well. So vegan whey became a good option. It's a good source of protein. So this, I'm gonna rack this up. I'll go bring in a couple of shakers. Obviously, someone in this household is a very big fan of a certain Dark Knight.
Yeah.
She shall not be named.
Her name is Willow.
Her name is Willow. She's right there.
She's right here.
You like Batman?
Batman! like, who the f is Batman?
Do the dolphin noises, Batman. But yeah, so we'll take a couple of shake-ups with me. You'll see me warming up, which again, this also comes kind of almost similar to the kickboxing warm-up. There's a few differences, but yeah, let's get going. After I'm done setting everything up, I am going to write down my workout for the day. Currently, as we're filming this, I'm in week 3 of a 4-week microcycle, meaning next week I have a personal record week. The object of this week is to hit 5 reps on 75%, 3 reps on 85%, and 1 rep or more on 95%. The beginning of my workout involves a lot of stretching and a lot of exercises to prepare my central nervous system for the load that is about to come, the stress and pressure that I'm about to put my body on. After the stretching and doing exercises that completely target my muscle groups individually, I start with an empty bar and I start building up my weight each set until I hit my desired training weight. Usually this is around the 3rd or 4th set in. To minimize risk and injury, I utilize knee reps and weightlifting belts. However, these are tools and should not substitute form and constantly trying to improve that form. After being an athlete for so long, my body has had its fair share of punishment, and that is why I also started out this cycle fairly light, as I'm looking to re-strengthen my squat, deadlift, and bench press. Those were my 2 first sets on 75 and 85%. Now for the last one on 95%. After that, my workout continues with what is called accessory lifts or exercises that are in conjunction with the muscle groups that I was training today. Leg rollouts, hyperextensions, pull-ups, and additional squat or pull movements are common movements that are added in on these days, with reps ranging a little higher than 5. I briefly touched on my training principles, and I was going to explain to you guys what training systems I use. Number 1 is the Jim Wendler 5-3-1. The most simple, most effective way to build raw strength. Very good book, very easy. Basically what you've just been watching is completely based off of this book. Very affordable book if you are looking to learn about powerlifting, learn about functional training, or get into it. This is your book. Then the second book that I use is the Westside Book of Method. Westside Barbell, one of the most notorious schools, gyms, whatever you want to call it, out there, by Lou Simmons. They talk about a variety of training principles, and it's a great book of knowledge. They touch on, as I was explaining to you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of bodybuilding, and they actually approach that in this book. The bodybuilding approach, is it hit or is it a miss? Now, one thing you have to realize is that every training is personal. You might not like any of this, but there was a lot of stuff in here that as an athlete or someone who's just wanting to go to the gym and work out is very valuable. Getting knowledge on the stuff that you do with your body is highly important. When it comes to hiring a trainer or when it comes to training yourself, you need to know what you're doing. And on that topic as well, is having these 2 books enough? No, you need to know how to bench press. You need to know how to squat. You need to know how to deadlift. You need to know how to do all these things, but more importantly, you need to know how to do them correct. So I briefly said, I touched on the trainer aspect. I cannot recommend enough to hire a trainer, especially for those first stages, the first stages of working out, the first stages of training. Getting a trainer that will tell you what to do, you know, not Betty Beat, although I'm pretty sure Betty Beat could smash some records. Which one do you want? You want to do this one or that one? Which one are you doing right now? No? Okay, well, anyway, this one? Okay. Both of these books are very valuable, right? Okay. Just getting acknowledgement from Betty, just so you know that we're all on the same page here. Where was I? Getting a trainer. But you gotta get a trainer that wants to invest in you, not just take your money and give you some random program and go like, oh, no, everything I do is based on specifically you, and then give you the same routine he's giving everyone else. No, you want him to be involved, and involved is the key word. You want him to hassle you almost about your training, and hey, how's your progression going? And how is, bye Betty, how is all these, how is your food going? How's your training going? And you want him to show you how to deadlift, how to squat, how to bench press. Because just as the same as with, you know, your nutrition and the training that I just spoke about, same goes with squatting and deadlifting and bench pressing. There's no one way of doing it, and everybody is like built slightly different. For instance, I can't really do a regular squat stance. I have to angle my feet slightly out because of my hips, probably because of all the years of martial arts training and hitting kicks and hitting heavy bags and pads. Same with my deadlift. I can't do a regular stance. Well, I can, but I won't do them for power. I'll do sumo stance for power because it works better for me. Everybody is different. Now, if you've done all that and you've invested in yourself, again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to invest in yourself when it comes to these things. You know, build up a good program, stick to the program, finish your programs. You know, if you have a 5-6 week program, finish the 5 and 6 weeks. And also, as important is your rest. Do your deload weeks. So with all that being said, you know, go fix and get a program, go get a trainer, go out there, smash some records.